Go. Say it again. Sing it. Rainbows.
No.
Rainbows are better than people. Say it.
No, it's... So it's just dragon and laser. Da.
You know, it's so weird. I just had a nightmare, but I wasn't even asleep.
I don't really know what you're talking about, Clementine. What do you mean? You didn't go to sleep yet, right? We're putting you to bed.
Yes, we hope you're ready to go to bed there, sweetheart. No, I had a nightmare. It scared me. It's all about Houston.
Oh, you mean about the Astros and the World Series?
No. I want to talk about something that is kind of scary. I don't want to get too into details about it, but you know, Houston, it's got some scary things about it.
Oh, you're talking about the traffic.
No. Are you talking about how hot it is? No.
Are you talking about how you can have a McDonald's right next to your house because there's no zoning laws?
No. I'm talking about something called human trafficking. And like I said, I don't want to go into it, but you might want to check out a website called crimestoppers.org, and you can learn all about it. It's not what you think. It's not about, like you know, Liam Neeson taking people across the border, stuff like that. It's happening, you know, with people that you know.
Oh, this is so sad. I understand why you're having a nightmare.
You know, I was having a nightmare too, because I learned that there were Mike Huckabee children's books.
What?
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with having children's books that are conservative.
Yes, in fact, if you haven't heard, there's a website called Liberty Gen Z. It's like little newsies, kind of, I guess, but it's all about conservative news for kids.
You mean like standing up for America?
Yes, that kind of vibe, I guess.
Yes, well, that's not my problem, but, you know, first of all, I want to give a shout out for this lovely, very nice drawings by Elizabeth Brockaway in the Daily Beast. You know, she drew all of these pictures. They're very nice. They're sort of like Dr. Seuss books.
Yes, but with some kooky captions about Donald Trump and things like that.
Her drawings remind me a little bit of a child's first book of Trump. Remember? You guys bought that for me?
Oh, yes, you mean by Michael Ian Black and Mark Rosenthal. Yeah, it was kind of a biting satire of Dr. Seuss and Trump, I guess. That was before he won the election.
Yeah, so basically the idea is that Mike Huckabee, who was Mike Huckabee? I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, he was the governor of Arkansas from 1996 to 2007. He ran for the president a couple of times, right? Tried to become president. 2008, 2016. His daughter...
Oh, yes, that was so sad. She had a rough time.
Yeah, so his daughter was you could say a very successful press secretary of Donald Trump, but sometimes she got treated badly in restaurants.
Yes.
The Department of Education in Arkansas, they have used federal COVID-19 monies
I like when you say monies.
to fund a lot of these pamphlets that are very questionable or dubious or whatever you want to call it.
Yes, so for example, they have a kid's guide to the coronavirus, right?
Yes, and in that they basically advise people not to wear masks.
But the scientists, they say that you need to wear masks against COVID-19. Like, we've had a flare-up here in Houston. And, you know, other books, and these are by a company called Everbright Media, right? They're funded partly, I guess, by Bradley Saft. He's some bigwig. Well, I'm not really sure.
Yes, but some of these books, they're about fighting socialism.
What's socialism?
Oh, socialism is the idea that everybody should have basically the same rights and the same money and the same everything.
Well, not the same everything.
Yes, but it's, just to have the same stuff and to make no money.
No. I think you're talking about maybe more like communism.
Oh, I guess I don't know the difference.
Yes, so countries like Norway and Sweden, they have something called democratic socialism, which is kind of like a combination of capitalism in some ways, where everybody can make all the money that they want.
Yes, and also the idea of having universal health care and universal daycare and stuff like that.
Oh, I would love universal daycare.
Yes.
So anyway, this company, they make these very interesting pamphlets. So some of them about fighting socialism.
Why would we want to fight socialism?
In America, we were always against communism, and we still are. But sometimes people mix up those things. They think that the Soviet Union and socialism are the same things.
Yes, but they're definitely not. If you go to Norway, it's a lovely country, right?
But there's Venezuela, too.
That's exactly what people talk about. They say, Venezuela. With some problems right now is the point.
And just to wrap this up, these books they talk about cancel culture.
Oh, what's cancel culture?
Oh, well, cancel culture is the idea that you can't say anything, that you could be just like canceled, destroyed.
Yeah, so since the conservatives don't believe in cancel culture, they would never want to cancel this show, right?
Well, I don't know about that.
I guess the point of all of this is that it seems like maybe Mike Huckabee and Bradley Saft, they're using funds that were meant for something else that seem to be a little bit biased.
What's bias?
Oh, bias is when you go one way or the other way, right? So the company that they have, the Learn Our History LLC, it seems to be a little bit biased, and maybe they shouldn't get public funding for that.
Oh, yes.
In other news, I read about Aristotle. They're trying to bring Aristotle back to life, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I read, I was watching Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, so maybe that's why I'm thinking about this a little bit too. Basically, a man, his name is Marc Lore, and he's trying to bring back Aristotle so they can have a castle called Telosa.
Oh, that's interesting.
One of my favorite series is The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, the Queen's Gambit. Yes, I like that too.
Yes, I've learned a lot about history and about chess, and when I was reading in the news, I also noticed that Nona Gaprindashvili,
Oh?
Nona Gaprindashvili is suing Netflix.
Oh, yes. So in the show, The Queen's Gambit, and if you don't know, The Queen's Gambit is a specific move. It sounds like it's a gambit.
Oh, Gambit, that's the word people probably don't know. Basically, a gambit is a move in chess where you basically do something where it looks like it's a disadvantage. Like, you have to lose something, right? And you're doing that to get something.
Yes, so the Queen's Gambit is a real move, and some people say it's not a real gambit because it's actually quite a shrewd move, and I won't go into it, but if you look at the video, you'll see the Queen's Gambit. Anyway, there's a chess star named Nona Gaprindashvili from a long time ago.
She's a historical person. She's 80 years old, and in the web series on Netflix, she's made to look kind of bad.
Beth Harmon, who's the main character, basically says that, she never did anything against any men. She never defeated any men, and was just not as good as people thought.
Yeah, it's funny because some people say the book that The Queen's Gambit was based on, also called The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevi, was actually based in part by Nona Gaprindashvili.
Yeah, so basically she is suing for $5 million because they make her look bad, and that's not so nice.
Yes, so one little side note is that they say, she never beat any men or something like that, or she wasn't very good. But supposedly, Miss Gaprindashvili actually tried to just get an apology from Netflix. beforehand.
Yes, and so now she's saying it's hubris. What's hubris?
Oh, hubris is when you're so arrogant and you think nothing can happen to you.
Yes, well, looks like something's happened to Netflix.
Yes.
In other news, let's talk about the woolly mammoth.
Yes, this is quite interesting. There are some scientists, I believe. It's a startup called Colossal, and they're using CRISPR.
Oh, I love the idea of CRISPR. It's when you get very crispy chicken.
No, I think you're talking about the Onion article. That was quite amusing.
So CRISPR is a way, actually, to change DNA.
Yeah, so this plan, they're using $15 million, this company. After 10,000 years or so have passed since the woolly mammoth went extinct.
Yes, so they're trying to bring it back, sort of like a Jurassic Park.
Yes, and there are some ethical questions here.
Ethics? What are ethics?
Oh, ethics means like right and wrong.
Doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And some people say this would be wrong.
Yes, but this is not what they say. They say, if you bring the woolly mammoths back to Siberia, moss will be eaten.
Moss?
Yes, moss will be eaten, and the grassland will go back up.
Yes, but the critics are saying there's very little evidence that this would help. It kind of sounds like a scientific stunt. And our final bit of news has to do with Chick Fil-A.
Yes, I love Chick Fil-A.
Jasper, you really, Chick Fil-A, they have some political stances.
Yes, I understand, but I can't help it, their nuggets are so good.
So there's this organization. It's called MSCHF, I guess. It's spelled MSCHF. It's basically, I guess, a very well-funded prankster organization.
Yes, if you don't know, you can never buy a Chick-fil-A sandwich or even go into a Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
Oh, yes, I do recall that.
Yes, and so the reason for that is because, Sunday is the day of the Lord for some people.
Yes, that's the day when people don't work.
People don't work?
Well, that's when you're supposed to go to church. It's the Sabbath.
The Sabbath?
Yeah, maybe I'm getting it all mixed up. But anyway, Chick-fil-A doesn't have, you can't go to a Chick-fil-A. They even have signs on the highway now. It says, closed on Sundays.
Yes, so there's this organization. They're buying Chick-fil-A sandwiches, on Saturday, I guess. And you can order one and have it delivered to your house.
What?
On Sunday, yes. It costs $6.66. It seems, as of right now, this is early November when we're recording this, you can no longer do this. But they refer to something in the Bible, Colossians 2:16.
Yes, I don't really know about that. By the way, MSCHF is responsible for things like astrological investment planning and all kinds of crazy things like that, and AI-generated foot pictures.
What are you talking about?
Yes, and all kinds of strange things like that. So this seems to be a very, very elaborate prank. Okay, guys, so we had 5 news stories, and as you know, one of them was just from Clementine's imagination. It was not really real. So let's do a quick recap here. Was the news that was not real, was it all about Mike Huckabee's conservative pamphlets?
Was it about the Queen's Gambit?
Was it about Aristotle coming back to life?
Was it about the woolly mammoth?
Or was it about Chick-fil-A?
And the answer is, it's the one about Aristotle.
Yes, so that's not really what the news is about.
So there's a billionaire, he wants to make this giant city in the desert, somewhere in like Nevada or Arizona or something like that.
Your voice is getting very weird there, Jarvis.
Yeah, I'm getting excited. This is kind of an interesting idea. So he used to work at Walmart. He wants to make a big utopia.
What does utopia mean?
Oh, utopia means a place where we're all happy, a perfect society.
Yes, so he is trying to get $400 billion to make a sustainable city out in the desert somewhere. It is called Telosa, which was named after Aristotle's idea, right? Aristotle described that for a higher purpose, yes.
Yes, and so it'll be 150,000 acres, and it'll be eco-friendly. Architecture will be there too.
It'll have sustainable energy production. That means you don't have to keep on putting energy into it. It just kind of stays around.
It will have a drought-resistant water system.
What does drought mean?
Oh, drought is like when it doesn't rain for a long time, It's a weird old word. Drought! Yes, drought, yes. And they're thinking about putting this in Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, Texas, Appalachia. Even if you go to their website, you'll see it.
This reminds me a little bit of that town called Celebration by the Disney company.
No. This is definitely not.
Yes, and so one more thing to say, back to the whole thing about socialism. This guy, Marc Lore is his name. He admires Scandinavia. So he's trying basically to make an equitable, which means equal for everybody, sustainable future.
And still have some parts of capitalism too, right?
Yes, and we should also say that this idea, in a way, was inspired by Henry George.
Thank you for listening to Dragon Ranger House.
Sources for today's broadcast include Business Insider, The Daily Beast, AV Club, The New York Times, and Smithsonian Magazine.
We are also on YouTube and major podcasting platforms.
Yes, may your sweetness shine.
And your colors glow.